All right, so we're going to start our webinar. Again, one last time, I am showing the contact details of the regional office here on the screen. You can take a screenshot and reach out to us here. We have the university representative from the office in Hungary with us who will be giving you the presentation first, and then we are going to hear from the student ambassador who has taken time out of his busy schedule to give you some insights about how life is in Hungary on campus. So we're going to start right away. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then over to you to start your presentation.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Once again, please put your questions in the Q&A box. As mentioned before, during my presentation, we will be answering questions towards the end of the session. And in the meantime, if anything is unclear, please note it in the Q&A box. I will quickly share my screen with you all. So you will be able to see my presentation. Oops. Can you all see it now?
Yes, we can see it now. Medical and health programs.
Yeah, international degree programs, is that what you're saying? Great.
Yes,
Awesome.
correct.
So let's begin. First, I will start with the basics. I will talk to you about where we are located, what kind of programs we offer, the university and the city of Debrecen. And then we will also talk about some of the admission requirements, and our student ambassador will then be able to share some of his insight, some of his experience as a medicine student at UD. And then we will answer your questions. So real quick, let's jump in. First off, we are located in Central Europe in Hungary, which is a small country, as you can see, right in the middle of Europe. It's a member state of both the European Union and the Schengen area as well. The population of the country is about 10 million, so we're a very small country. The first language, the official language of the country is Hungarian. The capital of the country is Budapest, and we are east of the capital. Hungary is one of the safest places you can come to study. It's the 14th safest country in the world, according to the Global Peace Index. So, especially for a smaller city such as Debrecen, it's a really safe and peaceful place to live and to study. The country itself has mild continental climate, so that means you get to experience a bit of all four seasons, hotter summers, cooler spring and autumn, and then during the winter, which is the coldest season, you also sometimes get to see some snow. So a bit of everything. As for the city of Debrecen, it's one of the oldest cities in Hungary. It has more than 650 years of history. It's the second largest city of the country, but it's still considered to be a small town on a global scale, as the population of Debrecen is about 200 to 230,000 people. The university, the city of Debrecen is a true university town, a college town. About 20% of the population of the city of Debrecen is either an active college student or a postgraduate student, or the rest, about 10-15%, is a staff member of the university, such as myself. So truly everything revolves around the university in Debrecen. You can see some photos of our beautiful city of Debrecen, the main square, the park, which is a 5-minute walk from the main campus of the university, with its Lake Békás, which is a popular hangout spot for students and just citizens of Debrecen. Although it's a smaller or smallish city, it has everything, it offers you everything to live comfortably. It even has an international airport with mostly European direct flights to Paris, London, Rome sometimes, and summer destinations as well, Greek islands. It has a very historic city center, which is ideal for walks and just to do some shopping, to hang out. There are restaurants, cafes, snack bars with international cuisine, bicycle roads, which our students like very much because a good majority of our students will end up getting a bicycle during their time in Debrecen and just commute by bike. The public transportation system in Debrecen is also impeccable. So it's very easy to get around the city. As I mentioned, we have green city parks, both open air and indoor swimming pools and spas, because Hungary is famous for its thermal water, and there's plenty of it in Debrecen. So that's one of the touristic highlights of the city. We have shopping malls, theaters, cinemas, ice skating rinks, sports facilities, museums, basically shopping malls, basically anything and everything you will need in a smaller sized city to live comfortably. Now, let's talk about the university itself. The predecessor of the university, which was the College of the Protestant Church, was first founded in 1538. So that gives us a few hundred years of experience in higher education, and it makes us one of the oldest universities in Central Europe. Currently, we have 13 faculties in different fields such as agriculture, dentistry, medicine, engineering, IT, law, medicine, even music, operating on 8 different campuses. So it's not just the one campus, 8 different campuses in 4 cities. One of them is obviously Debrecen, the other 3 are neighboring cities. So we are a regional higher education institution now, not just a small city college. Also, it's worth noting that we have the largest number of students in Hungary, which is 32,000. We have the highest number of students out of all the universities in the country. And we also have the highest number of international students in all of the region, in all of the Central European region, which is just over 7,600 international students coming from around 140 countries. And the student lecture ratio at the University of Debrecen is 20:1, which is the European standard. You can see some photos of our university campuses, our main building, our life sciences building, our agriculture campus. You can see there's truly green. Our main campus is located in a forest area, which is under environmental protection, international environmental protection. So you get to study in buildings that are surrounded by trees that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. We also have a botanical garden on our main campus and the agriculture campus. We have actual working farms, as well as a fishery and a greenhouse as well. So I briefly mentioned that we are one of the oldest universities in Central Europe, first founded in 1538. Then the first faculty, or the first part of the university as we know it today, was founded in 1912. That was the Hungarian Royal University, which then had the main building that we have today. And then we had some other smaller colleges and universities scattered around Debrecen, which were unified, put together to create the University of Debrecen as we know it today. And those previously or formerly individual smaller colleges became faculties to the same institution. So that's why we have so many faculties, such a varied list of study programs that you can choose from in different disciplines, because they used to be different colleges and they all were brought together to create the largest higher education institution of the country. You can see some of our facilities now. The Learning Center is the latest addition, which is essentially, besides, of course, lecture rooms and seminar rooms and lecture halls, it's also a community space for students to do group projects together, to hang out, to study together, to do their research together. There are self-study spaces, group study spaces, booths, even soundproofed booths where you can study and study together and tutor each other. We have the sports sciences building just across the street from the Learning Center, the main building, which is very exquisite in both its size and its classical form. It looks like something out of Harry Potter, honestly. You can confirm that later on. We have student hostels on campus in limited numbers only, but we will talk about that if that becomes a question during our Q&A session about dorms. We have the life sciences building, which is used mostly by medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy students in their first 2 years of studies. It's worth mentioning the IT campus as well, the IT and law campus, which is home to the fastest processing supercomputer of the country. So that's also a plus. Some more photos of our self-study spaces, simulators, labs, lecture halls. We have restaurants, cafes, snack bars, even a grocery store and a pharmacy on campus. And mentioning libraries, we have a library that qualifies for the title of National Library. So in full, it's called the National Library of the University of Debrecen, which is a great accomplishment because only 2 libraries have this title in the country. One of them is ours. And to qualify for this, you have to have more than 6 million copies of books and other items such as journals, scientific journals, and such, which we do. And it also means that whatever is printed in the country of Hungary ever, we have to be sent a copy. So anything and everything that gets published in the country, you will find one copy of it at the university library, which is, I think, great for research, for your own entertainment as well. It's just a great tool to have when you're a student or a professional. For medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy students, I would like to mention that we have the largest healthcare provider, which is a clinical center of the University of Debrecen, right on campus. It's on our main campus at UD, which means that you get to carry out your practices at the clinical center and the teaching hospital of the university without commuting, losing time going from A to B, from one spot to the other. Everything is on campus, and it also is truly the largest healthcare provider of the country with more than 3 million patient cases each year, with all major medical departments available. So when you do your practice, I think it's ideal that you get to see everything, experience everything, and everything is right there for you. You don't have to waste time commuting. We have a very colorful student community. I mentioned before that we have the highest number of international students in the Central Europe region, which we are very proud of. We have students from all over the place. It's a true melting pot for different cultures, different backgrounds, both academic backgrounds and cultural, which we like to celebrate with different events throughout the academic year. One of them is the International Food Day, which is always one of the highlights of the academic year. It's organized by the ISU, International Student Union of the University of Debrecen. I think it's really awesome. Every year, thousands of people visit this event, and all the proceedings go towards charity from this event, which is also a nice touch. Then we have which we just had like 2 weeks ago, I think, or last week or 2 weeks ago, which is the U-Day series of events, actually, which is our semester opening ceremony. You can see a photo of our flag show from a previous U-Day there. This is also very fun to kickstart the academic year with um, a series of concerts and laser shows and stuff, which obviously students are more than welcome to attend as one of the first things they do in September. Now, I mentioned that we have more than 7,600 international students. I suspect it's more now that we have started the new academic year with more people enrolled, but we don't know the statistics just yet. So I think right now it could be somewhere around 7,800, which is great. Where do we have students from? More than 140 countries. Some of these countries are Nigeria, Egypt, India, China, Kenya, Mongolia, South Korea, Bangladesh, Pakistan. But this is not the full list of countries where we have students from. Basically, any country you might think of, we will have at least one student from there. Chances are. So yeah, it's a very nice community of international students coming from all over the world, sharing one thing in common. They all study at UD. But what can you study at UD? First off, let's start with the medical school, which includes 4 faculties: the Faculty of Medicine, the Faculty of Dentistry, the Faculty of Pharmacy, and the Faculty of Health Sciences. Medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy would have their own faculties, of course. And then the Health Sciences faculty offers you programs such as nursing, public health, or social work and social economy. So there's a true variety of health science related programs that you can choose from. And also we offer foundation programs to students who are trying to pursue a medical degree if they might need it. Real briefly, because the regional office will be able to assist you with such details if you're interested. But just to sum things up, medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy are all single cycle programs. So they are not divided into bachelor's and master's. It's all in one go after high school or after foundation. In 5 or 6 years, depending on the program, you end up with a master's degree, essentially, which also gives you the title of doctor. So doctor of pharmacy, doctor of dentistry, doctor of medicine in 5 or 6 years. And for you to enter this program, you need to have a high school diploma, but you can start the application process in your final year of high school. And you also need to pass our own entrance exam, which is the university's own exam. And there's no exceptions. Everybody takes this exam. It's either in biology and chemistry or biology and physics. There's a written part, and then you have an interview part as well. It's all the same for medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy. For nursing, there's an exam in biology and an interview. And for the rest of the health science programs, you will sit for an interview to decide whether you can join this program. And of course, you need a high school diploma for all the bachelor level programs. And for the master level programs, you need a relevant bachelor's degree and an interview. What else can you study? We have a list of almost 100 study programs in English. So it will be really, really hard to try to talk about them in a short period of time. But I mentioned before all the faculties: agriculture, business and economics, engineering, humanities, IT, natural sciences, law, and music, besides the ones which are part of the medical school, which offer both bachelor and master level programs, as well as PhD, of course. For all bachelor programs, we have a September intake. And for a limited number of master level programs, especially the ones in engineering, we also offer January, February intake as well. But masters, once again, and the single cycle medical programs, they all start only once a year in September. Ideally, you should apply between November and April. So that's when the highest number of applicants submit their applications to the university. Anything before that, it will take time to be processed because we're still dealing with the freshmen. And anything after that, you might miss your chance to get a seat, first of all, and then to go through your visa process because it does take a bit of time. So ideally, this is the ideal time frame to make sure you have an upcoming entrance exam you can sit for. You have enough time to prepare, you have enough time to gather your documents, you have enough time to be done with your visa process before arrival. But yeah, the regional office representatives can talk to you about your own situation if you contact them. Now, for these non-medical programs, the bachelors are usually 3.5 years, so between 3 and 4. Some would be 4, such as civil engineering. Some would be 3, such as psychology, but many of them are 3.5. The reason for that is because they include a final semester of compulsory practice, a so-called internship, which they have to finish before graduation. So that's why they're not 3, but 3.5 years. The master's programs are usually 4 semesters, so 2 years. PhD programs always 4 years. And we also offer foundation programs for non-medical students should they need it. You can follow us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Spotify. We're available. And now I would like to ask our student ambassadors to share a couple of thoughts, a couple of experiences, and together we can then answer your questions, whatever they might be. And I will quickly stop sharing. I'm hoping, if I can. My mouse doesn't work, so just a second. I have to stop sharing here. Great, awesome. So, can we hear from our student ambassador who's logged in here as well?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
Firstly, I want to thank our university representative, Ms. Dora, for giving me this opportunity to represent our university. And thank you, everyone who spared the time to attend this meeting. And I am really grateful to share my experiences. So I came here in 2020 and I started the medical program. And it was, I would say, a good experience. I never felt, in a sense, alone. Here, there's a lot of nice people. Community is super friendly. Everyone's really warm here, so they are very receptive. As this is a primarily a university town or city, people here are really accustomed to all the university students coming here. So everyone's really helpful, very kind, and you will not feel alone in this place, as I said. When it comes in terms of studying, well, medical program is a very a program that needs a lot of persistence, but thankfully I'm in 6th year now, so I mean, all my colleagues, the result of their persistence has paid off. And you will meet so many new people. You have chances to do many things here, whether it is in the university as elective courses, whether it is outside of the university. There are many things to check, many things to do, and the life here is very quiet, very peaceful, and it is very safe, as Miss Dora told. And generally, like, as I've lived here and I've lived in UAE, and I really, really enjoy this country, and especially Debrecen, because it suits the way I like to live. And I also believe for the future, for those people who are planning to take medical course, here is a good place to start a residency and hopefully in the future start working. And they, I believe this is a place where the knowledge and the experience you get is very, very valuable. And it is, as I said, it's a great city. I love this place.
So awesome to hear. Can I ask you, I never asked you this before, I think. What did you think of like when you first applied and started preparing for the entrance exam and then took the exam? How was the process? Did you think the entrance exam was hard or was it something that you expected? What was your experience like?
I believe when I was studying for the entrance exam, mind you, it was also during the coronavirus time, so I think it was a bit different. However, my brother and my sister, they did the exam, and they're also medical students here, and they performed the exam, and they didn't really think it was difficult. It was similar to the materials that we studied were similar to the things in grade 12, 13 of in UAE schools. So it is not something that I would say is out of reach. And the interview is not what's called something to be afraid of either. They're very kind, they're very patient, and you will perform the exam to the best of your abilities, and they will help you as needed.
What can you say about the like finding accommodation in Debrecen? I don't know if you live together with your siblings or separately, but we hear it from students from time to time that, you know, we have a limited number of dorms, so most of them they stay in private accommodation. What is the system like? Like, do you live close to campus or?
All right. Um, in this case, when I came here, I lived with my brother in an apartment. But prior to that, when my brother was here, he lived in the Augusta dormitory. And in the Augusta dormitory, I believe there was a question where they said, is the dormitory for 1 year only? However, you can stay in a dorm for as long as you like. In The dorms are unlimited in time. But most people usually stay for 1 year just to settle in the in Debrecen, and usually the next year they start looking for houses. And usually they can be done through websites and agents that do this, or in certain places in Facebook, you can find listings for houses. However, the dormitories, I think they are available to. I think they're a very good option and available to everyone once they start and to get settled.
Um, yeah, just a bit of clarification. The dorm that you're mentioning, it is available and it's not only for first years. Uh, However, it's for medical students because it's on the
Oh,
Augusta campus, which is a medical campus. So medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy students usually stay there if they wish to. Price wise, I wouldn't call it a dorm necessarily. It's more like a student housing community
mhm.
because they get their own studios. And also it's pretty costly when you compare it to private accommodation that's available in town. But some people, yeah, for the reasons you mentioned, they actually choose to stay there for their first year because it's something safe. It's something that they know. It's a dorm essentially. It's on university campus. So in the first year they might stay there, but later on they usually move out and stay in private accommodation. And price wise, I think a normal like 2 bedroom apartment would be around what like $600, 700, something like
Give or
that.
take.
Right?
Yes,
Like,
give or take, depending also on the locations. Of course,
yes.
locations that are closer to uni and the convenience is higher is a bit more costly than the locations that are a bit further out. So people can take into account, and as you mentioned, the bicycles as a
Yeah.
public transport, it's very useful. Thankfully, Debrecen is a really small town, so everything is within walking distance. But for convenience sake, a bicycle is really, really recommended.
Yeah. Another question that people ask usually when they want to know more about the university and living in Debrecen is like, what can you eat in Debrecen? Like, as somebody who's from Debrecen, for me it's easy. But how about you? Like shopping and going out to eat or
Uh,
getting the groceries you need, is it easy or difficult? Or...
oh, um, this can be a lengthy answer, so I don't know if you want the whole thing. Um, if, for example, you want shopping, there's a lot of supermarkets here. We have Interspar, we have Aldi, we have Tesco, and depending whether like you want to go and shop there or do it online and pick up and or deliver, these are also options that you have. So in terms of groceries, all of these things are very easy. When it comes to eating out, there are a lot of restaurants. There's a lot of places that you can try, whether it's Italian, whether it's Arabic places, whether there is the normal fast food, and even the Hungarian fast food. Very good, by the way. You should try. But I would say that Debrecen has everything within its vicinity. It's very close. Everything is not really close. Even supermarkets are in center, and also you can find a lot of like fast food places and places to eat even outside center. So and so I believe everything is really easy, really convenient, really close by, and I do not think anyone will find any difficulties trying to adjust here because. Uh, it's in a sense it's a very simple process here.
Yeah, but also it's very different from the UAE. Like whenever
Oh
I
yeah.
go there, I'm like, oh my God, this is so different from where I live. So I'm guessing the same happens when people who live there come here for the first time, or whenever they come here, they're like, oh, it's so different. So yeah, it might take a bit of time to get used to a
Mm,
different way of living, but
yes.
yeah. Now tell me, what do you do besides, of course, studying? Because medicine takes a lot of. It's a very competitive program, so it takes up a bunch of your time, I'm guessing. But do you hang out with other students, or do you do any sports, or what do you do when you're not studying?
Oh well, when I'm not studying, my friends we usually hang out. However, most of my friends also are doing practice abroad. So
Oh,
nowadays
because
I
you're
main
final year, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So nowadays I go, for example, to the gym, taking walks, sports with my friends. Some of my friends are here. We play football because there are like football fields and basketball fields and these places where you can play. Of course, there's cinemas here you can go to, or for example, you want to go shopping. I mean, I do everything once I have free time in this schedule that I have. But I'm not opposed to anything. I think here, if someone wants to do something or an activity, they will, and if they spend time trying to do this activity, they can do it. It's not a matter of having time or not. There's so much things to do here.
Oh, cool. Let's have one final question, and then we can look at the questions from the prospective students together. I always wanted to ask, like, what are your plans after graduation? Where do you see yourself working? What field or which department speaks to you the most?
Um,
What are your plans?
in the future, I actually plan to work in Debrecen.
Oh, you want to
I
stay?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
nem hazudni neked.
He
But
just said
I
I'm not lying to you in Hungarian.
Yes, I really, when I spent time here in Debrecen and in general in Hungary, I really noticed that this is a lifestyle that I really prefer, where it's quiet, people here are very nice, and the weather, the four seasonal weathers that can be felt. I really like it because it's a bit reminiscent of my home country, and that's why I really like this place. I plan to go into the dermatological field and hopefully specialize in the plastic surgery burn unit area because when I spent time here as a medical student, I had a lot of doctors really help me and try to give me their knowledge and in a sense, try to guide me on a correct path. And dermatology spoke to me the most because doctors went out of their way for me, and I'm sure this happened to other students in different fields. But for me personally, dermatology, it was what really like opened my eyes. And spending time with my tutor and talking to him really, really, in a sense, convinced me that here would be a great place for me to work, to do my residency, to work, and hopefully live a life here.
That's awesome. Liba, do you think we can look at the questions and see if there's anything we
Yes,
might have missed?
Yeah, however, I had two questions
Sure.
because these are the questions that I'm usually getting, especially from the students who are based in the UAE. And this is a question that more parents are asking now that for a student who is based in the UAE, which is a very safe country, so sending their kids abroad for international studies can be a bit difficult for the parents. So, how safe do you feel in the city and on the campus, living away from family and as an international student? If you can share some insights about that.
I think it was a question for you, Mubin. Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
Yes,
uh,
yes.
in terms of safety, um, I know, like, I understand the worry of the parents, similar to the worry that my parents had, and they were telling me, for example, not to walk at night, late night, and whatever. However, it, Debrecen is very, very safe, and I cannot stress this enough. Uh, Nothing will, in a sense, happen to anyone. And I've personally taken walks at 4 a.m., and I've seen, for example, ladies also be taking walks or running or jogging as a training at 4, 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. And I haven't really heard or seen any incident happen here. It is very safe. You, when you send your children here, you do not have to worry about their safety because nothing really. Here is a quiet place. It's very small, and nothing really happens.
Okay, thank you. And another question that I had was how receptive is the campus and the city for just general international students and students from different backgrounds, different cultures, different faiths, different skin colors. So if you can share how that, because we have shed some light during the presentation about this, and we are always telling this to the parents and students. However, hearing it from a student who has been in the city and on campus for almost half a decade would help a lot.
Um, well, the reception here that I've received is, in a sense, I would say, really good. And I would also like to tell a small detail where I, while I have plans to work here, it also motivated me to learn the language. And there are, like, for example, people who are a bit older who don't understand English because, as Miss Dora said, Hungarian is the primary language here. So once, for example, you speak a bit of their language, they are very nice, very receptive, etc., etc. Because I think personally, what I notice, Hungarians are a bit shy. They don't want to speak English because they're afraid of maybe speaking it in a bad, wrong way, or maybe they are incorrect when speaking. However, with the Hungarian students that I spoke both Hungarian and I spoke to Hungarian students in English, but they are very warm, very nice, very hospitable, and if you need help, they will help you. It's not a case where there's going to be a isolation of the foreigner students and an isolation of the Hungarian students. Students here intermingle. However, it also depends on how willing you are to put yourself out there, how willing you are to embrace the culture, how willing you are to learn the language.
Okay.
Yeah, just adding to that real quick, because I think part of your question was about making friends probably and like being part of a community in Hungary, but another part was about acceptance in religion and
Mhm.
other things and
Oh, yeah.
an intercultural background. And I would like to mention that, of course, the university welcomes students from all over the world. So we try to accommodate everyone.
Mhm.
Up to a certain point. So that means that, for example, we have prayer rooms available on campus at the Learning Center, both for female and male students. We also have a church at the front of the main campus, which is not attached to one specific religion. Any religion can use it. And actually book the venue for a sermon or anything. So it's not specifically for one religion, it can be used for any religion. So things like that, more and more places pop up which would offer halal food, which I don't really look for specifically, but I see that. So I think that both the university and the city is open to people from different cultures and with different traditions and different customs, while Hungarians also very much appreciate when other people notice and try to follow and appreciate their customs as well. So it's a bit of a back and forth with Hungarians. When you do something for them or do something the way they would do it, they appreciate it very much. And then they are also very helpful people, but they're less smiley and less bubbly than, for example, Americans would be. They're a bit more closed off, but you shouldn't be put off by that because they're just a bit more, you know, yeah, a bit more closed off, as are
Reserved would
most
be
Central
the
Europeans
nicer
in
word.
general, I think. But yeah, I think we're pretty hospitable. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add to this question.
Sorry for interrupting, but for any of the parents who are a bit concerned about maybe, as you said, there are halal food. There are three shops here that one of them is on Egyetem Sudarút, which is the main street that goes to the university. One of them is on the center, and one of them is near the Bemter area. Uh, I, I can share those details with you if anyone has questions. But basically, just what I want to say is that there are places for that are accommodating to Muslim students, and there are also, in general, Debrecen is a very accommodating place. Nobody needs to fear anything. Everything is here.
Okay, thank you. Now I think that we have a few minutes left, so we can pick a few questions from the
Yeah,
Q&A.
I really quickly wanted to answer the first one. It's a maximum of 4 years of study gap that you can have between your bachelor's and master's. If it's just under 4 years, you can still apply. If it's 5 years, the possibilities you will not be getting a visa. That we have this rule for visa processes. So yeah. We should look into your documents, discuss with you first, but the maximum is 4 years between bachelor's and master's. The application is open for the 2026 intake, but now it still takes a bit of time to process the applications because we're still dealing with the incoming freshmen. As I mentioned, between November and April is ideal to submit the application. The Hungarian scholarship which is called Stipendium Hungarikum officially. No, it's not yet open. It opens mid-November each year, and the application period ends mid-January each year. So you shouldn't be applying individually to the scholarship and to the or for the scholarship and to the university if you don't want to be considered a fee-paying student. If your only option is the scholarship, then please wait for the scholarship application to start and only apply there. You don't have to submit your application to the university website anywhere if you're only considered for the scholarship. Is the electrical engineering bachelor's degree from the University of Debrecen considered equivalent to the Egyptian higher education system? It's a bachelor's degree within the Bologna higher education system of Europe. I don't know if that answers your question. It's a bachelor's degree. It's a bachelor's degree anywhere and everywhere, but Laiba, do you have a more precise answer to this question? Because I don't.
I'm not sure why the exact Egyptian higher education system is mentioned, because yes, it is a bachelor's level degree and it should be the same everywhere, but no, I am also not sure.
What I can tell you is that it's within the ECT credit system is the Bologna system of higher education of Europe, and that's what the University of Debrecen is part of, and all the degrees comply to that. So if the Egyptian higher education system is or the degrees that they give would be equivalent to EU degrees, then yes, the answer is the same. Student are not in UA. Student have studied up 4 years and you are accepted student.
For the Bangladesh bachelor's, I would suggest that you can reach out to us on either WhatsApp or email, and we will divert you to our regional office in Bangladesh, who will be more equipped to answer exact query from you, because right now I am based in Dubai, and I think that for you to be connected with the local office would be more helpful.
Somebody has what is the
I
desire
think
for?
if we pick a couple of questions, I saw one question in the bottom, which
Sure.
was for the student ambassador, because we are out of time and we have a lot of questions here. So I will just check that question. Yes, if you can answer, how are the clinical exposure or the hospital placements in the medical program like? I think that would be really helpful to answer.
So the clinical exposure, I would say, is very you're exposed to the circumstances, to the patients. Like I'm doing my right now, I'm doing my rotations right now in neurology, and we are stationed in different what's called areas of neurology every week. And every day you meet new patients. Every day, for example, you see, if you're in the ICU, you see patients coming in. Depending on how well you want to study or something, it all depends on the student. And our doctors also says the same thing. It's that the doctors will help everyone, provided that you also have the enthusiasm and the the workload. No, I'm saying the wrong.
Work ethic, I believe.
Exactly, to pursue these things, because doctors are in every country, not just Debrecen, not just in Hungary. Everywhere they're busy. So depending on how well you approach the doctors, how well you want to learn, you will be really exposed. So when I was in different rotations, for example, in dermatology, I was assisting in surgeries, right? I was I was helping my doctor do specific things, giving him specific tools, even in some cases like performing simple sutures or stuff. These things can be provided to you, and the exposure to that is very good. And in terms of, I think they asked something about the schedules. Let me see this question once more. I'm really sorry. Um, So,
We
what was?
have another question, by the way, which is
Yeah.
about how are the examinations in medicine? Is it written,
Mm.
MCQ, or oral?
All right. So
Mhm.
you have actually all of them. The final semester exams are all oral, right? You cannot do a written exam for those, because these are the exams that actually go into your GPA. There are smaller subjects that are, for example, maybe not part of your final GPA, and these can be computer, MCQs, or written. These are all present. But the majority of the exams you do here are oral.
All right, I lost the question. Okay. Dora,
I'm
if you
answering
can,
some questions in writing so we can answer as many as possible.
Yeah, if Dora, if you can answer this one, then is it mandatory to learn Hungarian language, both for medicine and for non-medicine program? If you can just
So
shed
it's a little different for medicine, dentistry, and pharmacy, and then the rest of the programs, because for medical degree programs, you need to learn some level of Hungarian for your practices specifically. So you will actually start with a crash course in Hungarian when you start your education here. And the rest depends on you. If you want to learn more Hungarian, you can. This will be enough to make you get by with your practices when you're interacting with patients in your later years or upper years. So that's why it's compulsory. It's a bit medical specific Hungarian that you will learn. So that's why this part would be compulsory. For the rest of the students, it's not compulsory to learn any Hungarian at all. And besides the rest of the education, all the classes, lectures, everything will be in English 100%, even for medicine students. It's solely for the purpose so that they can interact with patients and maybe nurses within the clinical center. And if you're a scholarship student, you will have compulsory Hungarian, a limited number of hours where you need to learn some Hungarian, which is part of the scholarship program and trying to promote the country and to make it wider known. So yeah.
But I saw the question, which was about the clinical exposure and the hospital placement. And the hospital placement, Ms. Dora, please correct me if I'm wrong, but they start in fourth year. Um, am I mistaken about that? Was it third year or fourth?
No, I think it's fourth because
Yes.
first 2 years are theoretical. Third one is when you start like more practices. Fourth is when you can start that. Yeah.
And the normal semesters are 14 weeks, but from fourth year onwards, you're going to have 10-week semester and 4 weeks of hospital practices, where, for example, you spend about maybe 2 weeks in internal and another 2 weeks maybe in dermatology or surgery or gynecology. So it depends on the year you're in and the subjects you're doing, but generally you do 4 weeks of practice, then you'd have your exam period and you kind of repeat it where it's like 10 weeks in from the fourth year onwards, which is 10 weeks of practice, 10 weeks of theoretical and classes, then 4 weeks of just practices and then exam period. And in the sixth year, it's all clinical. It is there's only clinical. There's no theoretical classes, so you will be spending most of your time in the hospital and hopefully and getting the exposure to these clinical scenarios as you wish.
Somebody's asking about a dependent. Unfortunately, we can only give supporting documents for a visa to students and no one else. So you would need a family reunification visa or some other thing for that, but we cannot deal with family members, only the actual students. They are also asking, is it mandatory to give an entrance exam? For masters in biochemistry, you don't need to. You would have an interview. So there's no written test for master's applicants. There's an interview, and we also will assess your former degree, bachelor's degree, and the interview will be largely about that and also other field related questions. How much is required in the bank? That's up to the embassy and not us. We don't require any kind of bank statements besides paying the tuition fee. And in this case, it will be 1.5 years worth of fee, most likely. So we answered that question. The foundation is not mandatory as long as you qualify for year one based on your previous studies and your entrance exam or entrance interview results. So that's also answered.
One question which might be interesting is, how are the professors for medicine? Are they approachable outside of class?
I believe yes, because I personally had really nice professors. One of my favorite professors, I actually and go and meet them. And especially a bunch of my doctors, I just go and like meet them in their clinics and stuff. However, even outside, I personally seen like my friends interacting with their professors that they had from previous years. So yes, I think if anyone has a friendly relationship with anyone, they can meet their professors and spend time with them. Yes.
Okay, thank you. How many holidays are there? I'm trying to pick questions which
There's an
we
autumn
don't
break.
usually get the
There's
answer
a
for.
longer holiday for the end of the year. There's a spring break, and then you get the summer vacation, which is about 2 months, give or take. So you have 4 longer breaks, and then the national holidays, of course. And then the length of the longer breaks depends on, so the winter and summer breaks, it depends on how fast you're done with your exams. So it's up to you kind of how long you make those breaks.
Dora, you can take one more question because we're out of time, so that, and then after that we will wind up.
When and how do we apply for the entrance exam for medicine, the 2026 intake? The easiest way is to contact the regional office. You see their contact information on the screen. They will guide you through the application process and also sign you up for the entrance exam. They will let you know when the entrance when and where the entrance exam is. It would be in person in Dubai, I'm guessing, this year as well, or next year as well. So
Yes.
that's the easiest way, and this was my fastest response to that, I think.
Yes, I think that generally the admission process is that you simply have to submit your application, do the entrance exam, perform well in the exam, and then get the acceptance letter and go ahead with the fee payment and visa process. This is the shortest way I can explain the application process. However, obviously you can see our email address on screen, so reach out to us via email. You can share your full academic profile or the list of questions that you have, and we will be getting back to you. Thank you everyone for joining us for the webinar. Many thanks to the university representative, to our student ambassador who has shared so much information that we usually don't get. And these are common questions that our parents and students are asking. So thank you to take time off of your day to join us, and thank you for everyone in the audience who joined us today. If you're interested, you can reach out to us here, and yeah, have a lovely evening, everyone.
Thank you for the opportunity. See you later, guys.
See you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.